Prince Sports here. Time to do this quick face-off between Jordan and LeBron. Peak prime for prime. You know how we do on this channel, man. Always breaking to you good battles. But don't you notice this? All of these dunks by Jordan are being contested at the rim. I mean, the guys are getting yapped on, but it's being contested. Changing of the guard, man. Changing of the times. Because look at LeBron's dunks. A lot of them are clear paths to the basket. After he gets past his defender, there's really not much there to stop him or contest him from being from dunking the basketball, you know. So it just goes to show you that the 5 position has rarely left basketball. At least, you know, you always have somebody at the rim protecting it or trying to stop or block your shot, or even a guard or a different position trying to stop your shot. But yeah, let's get into it.
What's good, guys? Prince Sports here. Now, this is part 1 to LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, individual peak years, peak prime as individual players. So we're going to start off with Michael Jordan, all right? Michael Jordan in his early years, because I know a lot of you like to talk about, what about the early years? Okay, fine. Let's talk about the early years. 85, 86, 87, Michael Jordan became a superstar by 1987. So it only took him 3 years to become a superstar. LeBron James, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07. He wasn't a superstar till about 2007. So it took him 5 years to become a superstar when it took Jordan only 3 years. So Jordan had a more devastating impact on and off the court. He was a better scorer than LeBron James in their early years. He was a better defensive player than LeBron James in their early years. So only thing LeBron James was probably better at was maybe playmaking, passing the ball, if you want to go that route. But even that is kind of flawed because Michael Jordan is one of the most underrated passers, especially for a shooting guard. But let's just give LeBron James the passing. But that still doesn't mean he was a better basketball player, even in their early years. So he even comes up short in that aspect. Then you go to your peak prime years, right? Now, when it comes to losses and losing in games, all right, or winning, whatever the case may be, Michael Jordan lost 4 times during his peak prime years, 89, 90, and 95. And if you just want to add it in there, let's just go 1988. But technically, his team wasn't really a championship contender. Now, when we do prime peak years, as terms of winning and suspecting to win, your team has to be up to par too as well. It can't just be you as an individual dominant player, but your team sucks or your team is not projected to win the championship. But for argument's sake, let's just add 1988 in there. So that gives Michael Jordan 4 years of losing during his peak prime. Now, LeBron James, quite different. Okay, LeBron James lost 2009, 2010, 2011, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, 2022, 2008. I beat a one that, if you want to consider LeBron James, you know, in his prime at that age, or starting off at that age or that year or more. Same day with Michael Jordan from 1988. So both of those years would be put in parentheses. But let's just go by, same thing I did for Mike, let's just go by and just say, hey, let's add 2008 in there anyway, even though the team wasn't really favorites to win the championship, right? Same thing with Michael for 1988. So that gives LeBron James 11 years of losing while he was in his prime, in his peak, projected to win a championship, compared to Michael Jordan being in his prime, projected to win and win a championship in his prime, only 4. Okay, so as you can see, LeBron did a lot more losing compared to Michael Jordan. Hence, Jordan won more, lost less. That's where that logic comes from. Okay, now let's break down some of this a little bit. LeBron James Within those 11 losses, got 6 finals losses. Michael Jordan got 0. That's on the biggest stage there is. So Michael Jordan outbeat him finals record-wise and has more championships, yet LeBron James played more longer. That's an embarrassment and a slap into the face of LeBron James, who's supposed to be a top 5 player of all time, and you're supposed to be winning more championships by now. There's no excuses to why you don't get enough or more championships by now. Then that goes to postseason losses, okay? First round, second round, third round, prime peak. LeBron James has 3 to 4 if you're going to add 2008. That ties Michael Jordan with his 4. Now, Michael Jordan's 4, if you add 1995 in the mix, he only played 20-plus games in the regular season. Then, after playing 20-plus games in the regular season, that was enough for him to lead the Chicago Bulls to the postseason and only to lose to the Orlando Magic. So he even spent an entire season, but yeah, he was able to go to the postseason. But yet LeBron James played in 2019. You had a more longer time to get your team to the postseason, and you didn't even do that. So you missed the postseason twice in your prime peak years. That is uncalled for. And I'm not even adding your rookie years and your early season years, because that's not your prime, that's not your peak. So then we go to postseason losses. I just said they split 5, all right? And missing the postseason for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never missed the postseason since he was playing, okay? Whenever he played, while he was in his prime peak, he always made it to the playoffs, right? He won or lost. He always went to the playoffs. And 1995 was a perfect example. 20-plus games was all he needed to go to the postseason. So, with that being said, LeBron James, again, would've, should've, could've, career comes up short, even as an individual dominant basketball player. Michael Jordan outbeats him in that. Played more games than LeBron James, 82 games for multiple seasons, 10 scoring titles, 5 MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year, scoring title, an MVP, and a Defensive Player of the Year award all in one entire season. Way more dominant than LeBron James ever been. Puts an end to this conversation of who's the most dominant individual player. It's pretty much Michael Jordan. And prime, peak for peak, Jordan is better. Early years, show me what you got. I'm putting up numbers just to show the world that I'm coming, a.k.a. John Morant, a.k.a. Trae Young. I'm not even in my prime yet, but I'm still hot. Jordan still edges LeBron James. 3rd year as a superstar. Only took him 3 years to become a superstar. It took LeBron 5. Prince Sports out. Peace.